Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to a report by the Asahi Shimbun, Taiwan's military has resumed its anti-communist patriotic classes for military academy graduates after a quarter-century gap. The Ministry of National Defense stated that the decision was driven by the rising military threat and risk of infiltration from China, which claims the self-governed island as its territory. The formal anti-communist curriculum was previously ended in 2002 and renamed Patriotic Education. Officials noted that restoring these classes is crucial for graduates to clearly understand national security threats and recognize their military mission. Lectures will be delivered by various government departments, including the Mainland Affairs Council, the National Security Council, and the Ministry of Justice, aiming to foster a clear distinction between friend and foe. This resumption comes amid intense military pressure, with Taiwan's National Security Council tracking a record of over 110 Chinese military and Coast Guard vessels active along the first island chain. According to a report by Al Jazeera, a 4-month-old Palestinian boy named Ahmad Maruf Zaid has died in the occupied West Bank after Israeli forces blocked his access to urgent medical care. The governor of Ramallah, Eni Bayra, stated that Israeli soldiers at a checkpoint west of Ramallah delayed the baby's transfer to the Arab Specialized Hospital for over an hour. Meanwhile, the Palestinian Ministry of Health reported that Israeli forces also shot and killed a 16-year-old boy and wounded two 14-year-olds at the Kalandia refugee camp near Ramallah on the same day. Tensions and violence have escalated severely in the West Bank since Israel's offensive on Gaza began in October 2023. With over 1,000 Palestinians killed by Israeli forces and settlers in the territory since then. Additionally, in Gaza, an Israeli drone strike killed at least 2 Palestinians in Gaza City, further compounding the rising casualties of the conflict. According to a report by Al Jazeera, a court in Albania's capital, Tirana, has released 19 protesters who were detained during recent demonstrations against a luxury coastal resort development. The project is controversial because it is planned for a protected natural area and is linked to Jared Kushner, the son-in-law of U.S. President Donald Trump. Of those released, 2 individuals will remain under house arrest, 12 are required to report to the judicial police periodically, and 5 face no charges. The legal decision was met with cheers from supporters gathered outside the courthouse. Initially sparked in May by the appearance of barbed wire and bulldozers on protected beaches, the nightly demonstrations have since escalated. The movement has now evolved into a broader anti-government and anti-corruption protest, with tens of thousands of demonstrators calling for the resignation of Prime Minister Edi Rama. Tensions peaked on Thursday when police used tear gas, pepper spray, and water cannons to disperse hundreds of protesters who gathered outside the parliament building, leaving 15 officers injured. According to a report by Sing Tao, the Chinese government has dispatched its first batch of emergency humanitarian aid to Venezuela, following a devastating 7.5 magnitude earthquake that struck the country on June 24th, causing severe casualties and property damage. The first shipment, weighing over 80 tons, departed from Beijing Capital International Airport on the evening of July 5 via a chartered civil flight bound for the Venezuelan capital of Caracas. The relief supplies include 20 generators, 8 water purification vehicles, 200 disinfectors, 200 solar lighting systems, over 1,700 tents, and more than 6,700 blankets. China had previously provided emergency cash assistance immediately after the disaster. Chinese officials stated that remaining batches of relief materials will be shipped progressively to support Venezuela's post-earthquake recovery and reconstruction efforts. According to a report by the Epoch Times, Jared Novelli, the newly confirmed U.S. ambassador to New Zealand, the Cook Islands, Niue, and Samoa, stated during a press conference that securing access to the Cook Islands seabed mineral resources has become a top priority for the United States. This strategic focus aligns with U.S. efforts to reduce dependency on supply chains dominated by the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, while supporting the development of its own defense and energy sectors. The Cook Islands Exclusive Economic Zone holds vast reserves of polymetallic nodules rich in critical metals such as nickel, cobalt, manganese, and copper. Novelli expressed his intention to spend significant time in the region and introduce American businesses to assist with local mining exploration. In addition, the ambassador warned Pacific Island nations to remain cautious when engaging with Beijing, pointing out China's clear intentions to expand its military presence and establish bases in the Pacific. He urged regional leaders to understand the risks of debt traps and the hidden conditions that often accompany Chinese investments, underscoring the U.S. commitment to supporting the Pacific economy. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.